Hello everybody and welcome back to the Sussex Handmade Soap Company, and today we're going to be making a chamomile infused natural soap with an oranges and lemons kind of colour scheme. We have grown the chamomile that we're using in today's oil ourselves. I love gardening. Gardening's what actually got me into soap making in the first place, so I try and bring the gardening aspect into our soap making wherever possible. So this year I grew a nice bed of chamomile and I've harvested that and I've dried that and I've infused it into the oil. So we're going to be making a chamomile oil soap. Chamomile is really good for the skin. If you read up on it, there is numerous health benefits and lists of things that it can help with. So it's a really good ingredient to incorporate into body care, and you can also drink it as a tea, but I've never done that because, to be honest, I don't really drink a lot of tea, and I don't really do herbal teas at all, so I probably wouldn't like it. So I'm going to stick to putting it in soap. We're trying to do a line pour technique. I've done this once before and it went wrong. So I'm trying it again today and it'll probably still not work out especially well because it's a technique that I personally struggle with. But the way to get better at something is just to practice. So you're essentially seeing me practicing a line pour technique today. The main focus on the soap really is the chamomile infusion, the line pour and the colour. That's just for prettiness. We're using Annatto to colour the soap a nice orange colour, and the other portion of batter we're leaving plain. So it's kind of going to be a yellow and orange themed soap, hence the oranges and lemons theme. We are also going to be topping it with some citrusy bits and pieces, which you shall see. So, I've spoken far too long now, I think. Everything's just kind of falling out of my brain and onto the camera. So let me shut up and show you us making the soap. So I'm going to begin today by just talking a little bit about the infused chamomile oil. These here are the chamomile flowers. I grew these this year in my garden and just harvested the flowers, and then I used a dehydrator on a low setting just to dry them out a little. To be honest, I'm not especially keen on the smell of them when they're dried. It's not the most pleasant smell, in my opinion, but I'm willing to put up with the smell if it means we get the benefits from them. And then what I did is I took some of the dried flowers and I filled this jar approximately half full, and then I just topped it up right up to the top with olive oil, popped the lid on, gave it a little shake, and then marked on the top what it was and when it was created. So this is olive oil and chamomile on the 30th of July 2020. After I'd done that, I just popped it into a dark cupboard. You should want to leave it out of sunlight because the clear glass isn't going to do well if it's left in sunlight. It could interfere and react with the oils and chamomile inside. So I popped it into a dark cupboard, gave it a little shake every time I remembered to, which to be honest wasn't too often. And now we are 2 months later and we're going to be using it in the soap. I would recommend leaving it for at least a month, but after about a month it'll be ready to use. But let's say we've left this 2 months because I haven't got round to doing anything with it until today. But today is the day and we shall be making our chamomile infused soap. So I am now just straining this olive oil just because I don't want those chamomile flowers to actually be in the oil. So I'm just going to use just a standard sieve. You could use a muslin cloth as well if you wanted to. Just straining out that oil, and then I'm going to hope that I've got 340 grams of oil left because that is how much I need for this soap recipe. If I don't have enough, all I'll do is top it up with regular olive oil. That's not going to be too much of an issue. So we're just going to strain this and then use this in place of the olive oil part of our soap making. So I'm very pleased to say that we did have enough of that olive oil infused chamomile oil to be able to do the whole portion of olive oil with the infused oil, which is great. So we're now going to add in our cooled lye water. Both the lye water and the oils are around about 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we're going to bring this to a very light trace today. And then after I've brought it to a very light trace using the stick blender, I'm going to split the batter in half, which is going to mean I'm going to weigh off 560 grams into another jug because my batter weight is 1,120 grams. So 560 in each. So the batter's been split down now and it's a lot more yellow in colour, and I think that is due to the infused oil making it that little bit darker, but I want to add a little bit of colour to this section and I want to go with a yellowy orange. So I'm using a pipette to add some Annatto extract, and I'm just going to add a few drops because it's very strong and I don't want it to be too dark. And I'm just going to mix that in and see how the colour's looking. It'll probably be that we need to add more, but I'd rather add it slowly and end up with the colour I want than adding too much and ending up with a colour that is too dark. Annatto is a natural colourant and it should naturally colour the soap anywhere from a yellow to a dark orange, just depending on how much is added to the batter. So I actually ended up adding more than I thought I would, purely because I want to make sure that the two colours I'm going to be using are different enough to each other to be noticed in the final soap. Otherwise doing the design will be a waste of time. But I'm happy with the colour I've got now. And what I'm going to do now is fill 2 jugs up, one with the orangey colour and one with the yellow uncoloured batter. And these jugs won't take all of the batter. We are going to have to fill them up again in a little bit, but for now we'll get in as much as we can. And the same with the uncoloured batter, which is a very nice pale yellow. And now what I want to do is take a 3rd jug, and we're going to be using these 2 colours to fill the jug, but I want the orange to stay on this side and the yellow to stay on this side. And the way I'm going to attempt to do this is to pour them both at the same time, at the same level, or as best as I can, just to try and make the batter rise up evenly, half orange, half yellow. And this is kind of tricky. In fact, I'm lying. It is very tricky. So then what I do is just bring the mould in, and I'm using this book here to just raise this end of the mould up by about an inch or so. And then we're going to bring in the jug of soap. And I'm going to start at this end here, and I'm just going to be pouring back and forth in a slow, steady motion, and just allowing the soap to flow out. I say slowly and carefully to begin with, just back and forth across the mould, just like this. And I'm going to continue doing this all the way along the mould, and hopefully this is going to create a kind of a two-tone lined effect. So it's not looking too bad. We are a little way off the top, so what I'm going to do now is get all my containers, scrape all of that excess batter back into one jug, and then I'm just going to do the top as one mixed kind of blob. So yeah, this last bit of batter, obviously the colours have blended together because I've scooped it out of all the different jugs and things, so it's not going to be as neat as that first lot, so I'm just going to mix it over the top like this. So there we are, and now we're going to decorate the top. So I wasn't entirely sure how I was going to decorate the top of this one when I first came up with the idea, but then I struck upon the idea of these little dried lemon slices. Because this soap really does remind me of like oranges and lemons. You've got the orange and the yellow, and if I had scented this, by the way, I would have used lemon tea tree essential oil to scent it. I like lemon tea tree rather than just lemon because I find that lemon tea tree seems to stick better in the soap. But yeah, if I had scented it, it would have been with lemon tea tree. So the oranges and the yellows, I think kind of an orange and lemon theme is perfect. So I've got these little dried lemon slices, and all I'm going to do is easy peasy pop them down in the centre of each bar. So there we go, 1 oranges and lemons soap complete, and I think I'm going to name this bar the Pat. And if anyone can have any guesses as to why I would call this bar the Pat, please do feel free to put your comments in the comments box, and let's see if anybody else has got a strange mind that works in mysterious ways, just like mine. We'll be back in a couple of days to cut up the Pat, and we shall see you then. So we are back. It has been 48 hours, and when I unmoulded this soap, it was actually still very soft, softer than usual. So I have only chopped a couple of bars off this loaf now, and I'm going to leave it just a little bit longer just to firm up a bit more before I cut the rest, because it is still a little bit on the soft side for cutting. As you can see, there is quite a lot of soda ash on the top of this loaf today. That doesn't really bother me. Soda ash is completely harmless, and it is just aesthetic really, and it's easy to get rid of as well if you want to. It will disappear the first time the soap is used in water, and it can also be steamed off or just gently sponged off. So it's down to personal preference whether you want to try and get rid of it or whether you want to just leave it on. To be honest, we leave ours on because I'm a little bit too lazy to sit there sponging or steaming every single individual soap loaf that has soda ash on it, and as it is harmless, it's not really an issue. Having it on there kind of gives it a little bit of a rustic feel, or at least that's what I like to say. Anyway, let me show you one of the bars that we have cut off. So here we go. We have got a vibrant, bright orange colour on the inside, which I'm liking. My line pour technique, it is by no means perfect. It seems to be working quite nicely at the bottom here, and then something went a little bit wrong in the middle, and then towards the top it worked a little bit again. I mean, let's just say you can see what I tried to do, but it is by no means perfect or anywhere close to being perfect, and definitely a lot more practice is required. But I already knew that because I know I'm not great at line pours, and I know I need more practice at them. But it's better than the last time I attempted a line pour, so that's a bonus. The little lime on top, it said there were lemons, but that looks more like a lime. But lemon, lime on top goes really well with the colouring of the soap. And on the whole, I am fairly happy with today's design. I'm loving the colour. I just think, yeah, the line pour needs improvement. So here is our completed orange and lemon themed line pour chamomile infused soap. It's not my favourite design. I definitely need some more practice with the line pour technique. I like how the colours have come out. I like how the Annatto has coloured it, that lovely bright orange colour. To be honest, we didn't scent this with any kind of essential oils. So I would have done an orangey blend if I had, but we didn't. And even now, we made this soap probably now about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but when I smell it, like so, I can still kind of smell that chamomile smell, so it has kind of carried through the saponification process, which I wasn't actually expecting. And as I said at the start, I'm not especially keen on the chamomile smell personally. Other people may like it, I'm not especially keen. But I imagine if we had scented it with essential oils, they would have covered the smell anyway. But yeah, not my favourite design, but not my least favourite design either. So let us know what you think. Do you like this design? Do you like using infused oils and soaps? Do you like using natural colourants? Let us know what you think. Thank you for watching today's video. You can always view our website just here. And if you choose to purchase anything, you can use our discount code just here. Next week, we are going to be doing some more natural colourants. We're going to try and create green and purple out of natural colours. Just because I find greens and purples one of the harder colours to get naturally. So we're going to be having a go at doing that next week. So join us then, and until then, enjoy your week and enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.